Freedom is the most overused word in human history. Nations declare it, movements demand it, politicians promise it. Yet for most individuals, freedom remains an external condition, something handed down when laws change, when rulers relent, when circumstances align. But anyone who has survived captivity of the mind knows this is only half the truth. Freedom is not given. Freedom is signed. It is not a handout. It is a contract renewed every day in the private courtroom of your own attention, speech, and posture. By the time you've reached this chapter, you've seen the battlefield more clearly. You've studied the warlord posture of the mind, the difference between host and hunter, the power of reversal, the economy of attention, and the law of language. Each of these was not just theory, it was training. Each step was rehearsal for freedom. And now, those scattered lessons converge into one binding agreement, the freedom contract. This contract is simple in form, but severe in weight. It has one clause only: I reject passivity and step into rulership of my own mind. Everything else is commentary. Everything else is tactics. Freedom is not a mood. It is not the absence of interference. It is rulership, the daily governance of your inner territory so that no foreign power, no intruding thought, no manipulative attacker can draft your script for you. Contracts matter because they bind both parties. In legal tradition, once signed, a contract holds whether the signer feels committed that day or not. This is why the metaphor is powerful. You may not feel strong every morning, you may not feel free every evening, but the contract remains. Freedom is not fragile emotion. It is binding law. You signed it when you chose to stop hosting trespassers. You enforce it every time you redirect attention, every time you reframe language, every time you refuse to echo an attacker's script. Attackers thrive on people who never sign their own terms. The narcissistic boyfriend thrives on partners who never write their own clauses, who float through days reacting instead of ruling. The jealous mother thrives on children who live unsigned, passively hosting her prophecies as if they were binding. The envious friend thrives on companions who never author their own law, who let every barb slip into the borderless space of self-definition. In each case, freedom is not stolen. It is unclaimed. The freedom contract reclaims it. It reframes freedom not as circumstance, but as practice. It refuses the lie that liberty is passive. You do not have freedom because a constitution says you do. You do not own freedom because your life looks stable. You enact freedom because you govern yourself each day. That is the contract. Freedom is signed by daily practice. Practice is the key word.